1 at 5. I'm Braden Dupuis.
Tonight, what's next for Saskatchewan's liquor laws? A mother of 5 copes with housing troubles. These ladies are bringing women into boxing. That's right now on 301 at 5. Good evening and welcome to 301 at 5. The provincial government is privatizing liquor stores, and this decision has pleased many in Saskatchewan. However, the NDP thinks profit from liquor taxes could be used to help the province. Chelan Skulski reports.
Regina's first privatized liquor store, Willow Park, offers a variety of specialty liquor and wines. Store manager Shane Booth explained why the government's recent decision is beneficial to the community and to local business owners.
With privatization, there is no more really D-lists, so products that you like are never going to go away. It really opens up the market. More reps are going to want to come here when they know that their products will get onto shelves. So it's going to open up variety, and as well as it should bring down a bit of costs.
Private liquor stores may be beneficial for Regina's economy. However, members of the opposition are arguing that profit from liquor sales could be put to better use.
SLGA had net revenues of $463.5 million in 2011-2012. And if you think about all the good things that $463.5 million can go towards in terms of roads or schools.
Going forward, we will see how privatization of liquor stores affects our local business owners, and, as a result, how schools, hospitals, and highways are making up the millions lost from SLGA profit. For 301 at 5, I'm Chelan Skulski.
The federal government's omnibus bill C-45 is proposing to change the Indian Act, giving the Minister of Aboriginal Affairs control over Aboriginal lands. A petition is circulating to protest these changes. Shinoah Young has more.
Sylvia McAdam explains how changing Bill C-45 will have a negative impact on Indigenous people's rights.
The Aboriginal Affairs Minister, like I said, will change the Indian Act to accommodate the consent to extinguish reserve lands.
McAdam says signing a petition to stop the changes in Parliament counteracts consent through silence. Ralph Goodale is taking the petition to the House of Commons.
We're going to fight back, and we're going to stand for our democracy and for our individual rights, and we're going to do so together.
The petition represents crucial factors which are inherent Indigenous rights.
And everything that has to do with land is our culture, our ceremonies, our language are totally tied to the land. So this is detrimental. This is the extinction of a people.
The petition needs several thousand signatures, serving as grounds to stop the amendments to Bill C-45. The rallies will continue across Canada, generating awareness. McAdam's next stop, North Battleford. For 301 at 5, I'm Shinoah Young.
Should cities and rural areas be combined in the same ridings? Some say no, and believe the federal government should create separate urban-only ridings in Saskatchewan. Lauren Golosky has more.
The Federal Electoral Boundaries Commission thinks it could be time for Saskatchewan to establish all urban ridings. Political science professor Jim Farney explains the process.
The Commission tries to balance two things, right? They try to balance having reasonably equal numbers of people in each, and what's called in the legislation community of interest.
In the 2011 federal election, Regina lawyer Noah Evanchuk ran as the NDP candidate for Palliser, a riding that includes Regina, Moose Jaw, and several rural communities.
I ran for Parliament in 2011, and had the vote been different by 300 votes, 350 votes, I would have been the Member of Parliament. And I'm pretty sure that the rural constituents in places like Mossbank or Caronport or Briarcrest might not have liked the positions I took, because I would have taken markedly different positions on some of the issues than the existing Member of Parliament.
The Federal Electoral Boundaries Commission is still preparing their final report, which is due this December. They have proposed 2 exclusively urban ridings in Regina and 3 in Saskatoon. The next federal election is slated for October 19th, 2015. For 301 at 5, I'm Lauren Golosky.
After a snowfall, road conditions can be dangerous for both drivers and pedestrians. One Regina resident learned that the hard way. Kristen McEwen has the story.
Roads in Regina were covered in ice after the first snowfall of the year. Christy LaFond was crossing the street near her home when she was hit by a car.
So I crossed. I looked both ways before I crossed. I wasn't being dumb. And this car just kind of came out of nowhere and big bang boom, I was on the ground.
Fortunately, LaFond was not seriously injured by the accident. The following weekend, almost 30 centimeters of snow was dumped on the city, and police responded to a total of 64 collisions, 4 of which resulted in injury to drivers.
We definitely see an increase with every good snowfall, and drivers can do a lot to improve their driving behavior, even when you can't control the weather conditions.
From November 9th to the 16th, SGI received 863 claims for single and 2 vehicle accidents. This highlights the need for pedestrians to be cautious when on the roads. Even if a car looks like it might stop, it might not. For 301 at 5, I'm Kristen McEwen.
The University of Regina's campus is locked up after 11 p.m. The policy is in place as a security measure, but it is an issue for some students who need to work late. Julia Dima has more.
It's 11 p.m. and campus security will not let any students into campus buildings, even with a valid student ID. But some discrepancies in the policy have left students like Edward Dodd confused.
So I sent a text to one of my friends to let me in, and she came down and she was letting me in when campus security showed up, and they said, did you call her to let you in? And I said, I did. Is that a problem? And he said, well, we would prefer it if you call us, because we'll let you in if you need to get in after hours. And I said, okay, well, that's fine.
For campus security, situations like these require a judgment call.
It is a judgment call. Like, normally if the doors are closed, we wouldn't let nobody in to come study for the night. There's a lot of gray area and discretion.
Without a concrete policy, campus security will continue to let students in at their discretion, which could leave students unsure if they have access to campus after hours. For 301 at 5, I'm Julia Dima.
Next, Penny Smoke introduces us to a single mother of 5 who shines a light on Regina's housing crisis.
Previously from here, we were living with family in Yorkton, Coactus, Gordons, and Pipot.
Meet Adrienne Ironchild, a mother of 5 who, for the last 7 months, was homeless. Ironchild says Regina's poor rental market forced her family to move from their previous home. Since then, finding a suitable place to live has been a challenge.
Overall impression of Regina housing is that it's ridiculous. The pricing's too high and a lot of really run-down homes.
After 7 months of searching, Ironchild has finally found a 4-bedroom house that she can call her own. It is a welcome change from her previous living arrangement, couch surfing with her children in several relatives' homes.
The way I seen it was I felt like I was living off of people, but I knew I wasn't because we still contributed into the house and everything.
After she lost her home in April, Ironchild was forced to drop out of school to focus on putting a roof over her family's head.
Still trying to look for a house and go to school at the same time, and sometimes during the day I'd have viewings.
It has been a rough couple of months for Ironchild.
My oldest, she's always like, I like our house, Mom. Can I draw rainbows on the wall? She's like always wanting to draw and everything, but there's no way she's drawing on our walls.
Regina's affordable housing market is one of the worst in the country, making it difficult for many to find a place to live. Fortunately, Adrienne Ironchild and her children no longer have to worry. For 301 at 5, I'm Penny Smoke.
Regina resident Michelle Jones says the public school board is ignoring problems that her son is facing with bullying at school. Shinoah Young reports.
Michelle Jones is the mother of a 5-year-old boy who was recently the victim of bullying at school. When confronted about the issue, Braden's school teacher and resource officer refused to intervene.
There was nothing that they could do because Braden was under 12.
Under the Criminal Code of Canada, Braden's bully was not eligible for punishment.
I think it'd be pretty hard to write a bylaw ticket to someone and making someone under 12 go before a judge in a court system. There's other ways that it can be dealt with.
Because the authorities and his school have failed him. I actually told him that if the boy hits him again, to hit back. I don't condone violence. I don't. But, you know, it was a triumphant day, but it was also a sad day when my son came home and said, "Mommy, the boy hit me again, and I hit him back."
Under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, a child under the age of 12 cannot be charged. If Braden's bully had been 12 years of age, he could have been fined up to $2,000 with a voluntary payment of $100. For 301 at 5, I'm Shinoah Young.
Coming up after the break, Braden Dupuis brings us your local sports. Stick around, more 301 at 5 after this. Welcome back to 301 at 5. Value Village is taking some heat from their customers who are questioning how much value they really get. Iryn Tushabe found out the store may be more about business than charity.
Value Village's Facebook page is flooding with complaints from throughout the country, and most of them are about rising prices. Here in Regina, some customers are dissatisfied as well.
I find the pricing here rather inconsistent. You might find two items on the shelf that are identical, even sitting on the shelf side by side, and priced $3 or $4 different. I've also run across occasions where the new price tag of the item is still on the item, and what they're asking here is more than the new price. They must have overlooked the tag and didn't take it off.
If a customer has a concern about a price, we're going to reassess that item for the person. You know, we're not going to say that's the price and that's it. If they have more knowledge about that product or there was a flaw that was missed, that it's not saying that the price that's on the item is final.
Value Village has over 240 locations throughout the United States, Canada, and Australia. They collect their merchandise by paying cash to non-profit organizations for clothing and household items donated by the public. While Value Village pays charities per pound of donated items, other thrift stores like the Mennonite Community Center operate a bit differently.
Well, all of it, other than what we require to run the store, you know, heat, light, power, everything else goes to charity, and that's to, you know, to help somebody else out. That's the purpose.
The Mennonite Community Center also gives household items and clothing free of charge to those who can't afford them.
We try to extend the hand to everybody, and need what you take and take what you need. So.
Unlike non-profit organizations like the Mennonite Community Center, Value Village is a privately owned company. Items that don't sell in-store are sold to third-party vendors for resale in developing countries. For 301 at 5, I'm Iryn Tushabe.
And now to the sports desk with Braden Dupuis.
Thanks, Eric. Well, it's been another busy year so far for our Cougar athletes, who are now looking forward to a well-deserved 2-week break. Here are some of the athletic highlights from the 2012 fall semester. The U of R Rams went all the way to the Hardy Cup for the first time in 5 years, where they lost a heartbreaker to the University of Calgary Dinos. With 20 players graduating this year, the Rams are likely to spend a few years rebuilding. In basketball, the women are looking strong again this year at 5-1. With the extra pressure of hosting nationals, watch for them to really turn it on in the second half. Fifth-year cross-country runner Kelly Weed finished off his university career with a CIS championship on November 10th. Congratulations to Kelly. Cougars action returns to Regina on Friday, January 4th, when the men's hockey team plays host to the Lethbridge Pronghorns. Be sure to check out reginacougars.com for updates on all your Cougar athletes. Well, many events at the Canadian Western Exhibition have been featured at the rodeo for more than a century. There is, however, a new sport riding up the ranks. I went to Exhibition to find out how rodeo clowns went from comic relief to competitor. For years, rodeo clowns like Aaron Ferguson were about two things: protecting the rider and getting a few laughs doing it. These days, they're gaining their own identity in the world of sport as freestyle bullfighters.
They judge us cowboys on our ability to maneuver around the bull, jump them, how we handle the barrel and take care of our barrel man, and basically just sell.
The event, now known as freestyle bullfighting, originated in the early 80s when Wrangler introduced tournaments with cash prizes. Since then, it's taken on a life of its own.
There's guys pushing it to new limits every day. There's guys that do backflips over bulls and stuff like that. I mean, obviously you have to be athletic to get around one of these bulls. I mean, you don't have to, but it helps. And so I think the more exposure it gets, the more athletic guys and you're going to see in it, and the more they're going to start pushing the limits.
While freestyle bullfighting is still finding its footing as a competitive rodeo sport, it may not be long before these daredevils are the main attraction. For 301 at 5, I'm Braden Dupuis.
Thanks, Braden. Each year, ranchers from around the continent come to Exhibition to show and sell their cattle. Chelan Skulski looks into the secrets behind raising prize-winning beef.
Jackson Cattle has been retailing their cows at the Exhibition for over 20 years. I spoke with cattle breeder Chance Jackson to find out how they prepare their cattle for the big Angus show.
We'll bring them in, we'll water them, feed them a little bit of grain, wash them, and work the hair, put stuff in the hair to make that body hair all pop out, look real shiny, take them to the end of the ring and show them.
There are many cattle farmers here at the Exhibition, making cattle retail a competitive market. International buyer Stuart Stone explained what sets a breed apart.
If you're purchasing purebred cattle, you're looking for good genetics, good breeders, the conformity of the cattle, the color.
With these breeding qualities in mind, it will be interesting to see how Jackson Cattle places in the black and red Angus shows this weekend.
And Chelan Skulski joins us now from Exhibition. Chelan, looks like you had a lot of fun down there. What really stood out for you?
Well, Eric, I have learned a ton while I was here. One of the biggest things that stood out to me was that the Western Canadian Exhibition is actually the biggest cattle showing in all of Canada and the second largest in North America. Approximately 800 international buyers come each year just to see cattle.
It sure seems like there's a lot on the line for the breeders.
There is a lot on the line. It can cost anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000 just to bring the cattle into the showing here, but it's a great marketing tool, and they can make anywhere between $7,000 to $20,000 on a good heifer calf.
Thanks, Chelan. And it sure looks like a cold day out there. Your local weather is next.
301 at 5 News Team. With Braden Dupuis at the sports desk.
Maureen Mugerwa with all your entertainment news. And Eric Bell, the anchor you trust to deliver today's most pressing stories. .301 at 5. Reliable news every day.
And welcome back. Here's a look at your local weather. Today in the Queen City, we reached a high of -7, going down to a chilly -20 overnight. Saturday is looking a little cooler, with a high of -12, dropping down to -18 overnight. Sunday will be a little warmer, with a high of -8, dropping down to a balmy -14 overnight. Now let's take a look at the weather across the province. Moose Jaw reached a high of -6 today, with a low of -17. It was -6 in Weyburn, dipping down to a low of -19. In Yorkton, it was a little chillier, at -10, with a low of -20. Swift Current enjoyed some milder weather. It was -6 today, with a low of -13. In Estevan, it was -5, with a low of -17. In Saskatoon, it was -13, with a low of -18. Going to the northern part of the province, Lloydminster hit -13, dropping down to -18. North Battleford is -10, with a low of -16. It's 18 in Prince Albert, and they will hold that temperature overnight. And in La Ronge, the temperature dipped down to -20, and that will stay the same overnight as well. And that's it for today's weather. Next, Maureen Mugerwa gives us an entertainment update.
Thanks, Eric. Today we'll be talking about a few events coming up in the month of December. The Bollywood vs. Banger Dance Party on Saturday, December 8th will be at 9 p.m. at Pure. MFA graduate and filmmaker Trevor Grant's graduate project, Come and See, and I Saw, will be showcased at the Mackenzie Art Gallery November 24th to December 9th. And Word Up Poetry Slam for Human Rights at 7 p.m. at the Creative City Center on December 10th. Next, Sound Society is a local-based group consisting of 9 members. I went to the Sound Society concert at Pure. Check it out.
I'm Corey and I play percussion.
I'm Mac, I play guitar and keyboards and sing.
I'm Kenya and I'm a vocalist as well.
Chris, DJ, raps, Mr. Do-It-All.
I'm Rob, I play bass and do a little bit of singing.
My name's Derek and I play the trumpet.
Riley, I am the vocalist. We're all very, very different people, but the common thing is our love for music.
I'm Ross, I play drums. I want people to come out and enjoy themselves, and there's not really a band like us in this area.
Who is Sound Society? I don't know, I feel like Ross is kind of the driving force. He's really dedicated and really wants it to be something big and real that everyone can kind of relate to. But
people been coming to the shows, and every time we play a show, more people come, which is great, because that's really all we want. We just kind of want to grow the scene and give it something different. That's definitely our motivation. We've met some pretty great contacts, and we're going to put those to use. So, 5 years from now, who knows? But every year we're going to try to put something out and meet more people and do something different. Keep expanding. So who knows? But short term, next summer, play in some other cities. Get out, hopefully east, get out west. Have a product, and then we'll see what happens from there.
If you want more on Sound Society, check out their Facebook page, facebook.com/Sound Society. Renowned conductor Victor Sawa is planning a special performance to mark his 15th year with the Regina Symphony Orchestra. Megan Narsing sat down to talk with him about the show and his career.
This is my 15th season now with the Regina Symphony Orchestra. My workload is kind of dense. I think I'm the only one in Canada, Canadian anyway, who has 3 orchestras. So it's tough. I almost resigned from one orchestra and they said no. I said, what do you mean no? I said, no, you can't. So I went, okay, never mind. So that ended that. So I thought I was going to cut down a bit, but I'm not. But hey, I'm doing what I like to do. So gosh, it's just like you're doing so much, but it's great. If a conductor can actually relate to an audience, that's a big plus. And that's one thing I can do. In the beginning, they're going like, he speaks? We didn't know conductors could speak, And so, yeah, from the shock to, oh, I see, oh, that's interesting, that kind of thing. We're a real Christmas family here. We got the tree, everything like that. We start playing the Christmas carols on November 1st. And now the tradition with Messiah, I went to school in Boston, and they started doing a Messiah around 1790, 1791, continuously, if you can imagine, for 223 years. So I wanted to start that kind of tradition, by the way, in Regina and Saskatoon. Like the Messiah, the Nutcracker is another one. You know what I mean? It's like turkey in the tree. If you don't like Christmas, well, don't go to them. But if you have any kind of a Christmas spirit in you, the Nutcracker is an annual thing that's so great. And I wish we could do it. But the Messiah is one thing we can do, and that's another thing. Once you have the Messiah, you're saying, well, we're ready. We're ready for Christmas. It's been a good time. It's all been special.
If you want more information about Victor Sawa and Regina Symphony Orchestra, check out their website, reginasymphony.com. Coming up next, Eric Bell sat down with Maria Hendrika of Regina Transition House. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to 301 at 5. Joining me now in studio is Executive Director of Regina Transition House, Maria Hendrika. Hello, Maria.
Good morning.
So, Maria, what is Regina Transition House?
Regina Transition House is a crisis shelter for women and children who are leaving any form of abusive situation. We've been in the community since 1976. And recently, because of our hot housing market, we've had to expand the shelter. People were staying longer, and we were unable to help as many women as we could previously. So we've had the Expanding the House with Heart campaign, which has been our capital campaign that we're wrapping up in January.
So what fundraising campaign are you currently involved in this holiday season?
We're wrapping up that campaign, and then we're also the beneficiary of campaigns that others are running, like the Leader Post Christmas Cheer Fund, which helps us incredibly every year.
So how can a person donate to the Christmas Cheer Fund?
There are many ways they can donate to the fund. If they check the paper, there are many options. They can do online as well, which is really convenient. And if they want to help any of the shelters, they can contact them individually, and we have opportunities for donations or for volunteering.
All right, Maria, thank you very much for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
9 local women are stepping into the boxing ring to raise money for Regina Palliative Care. Lauren Golosky caught up with Loretta Hughes to discuss the upcoming match.
Loretta Hughes has become an amateur boxer. She's been training hard in preparation for Kiss the Canvas, a charity boxing match for Regina Palliative Care. As she prepares for the fight, she remembers what motivated her to step into the ring.
My dad passed away in 2003 from prostate cancer. He's from a smaller town, so there was no palliative care facility, and our family really wished that there would have been. So being that there is one here and to maintain and keep that for the families means a lot to me. It's close to my heart.
Bill Pratt is the Executive Director of Regina Palliative Care. He's impressed with Loretta and the other women for taking on this challenge.
Adding boxing into your life over a 90-day time frame, going from not knowing a thing to becoming a full-on amateur boxer, is not an easy thing to do. That just speaks to the quality and the genuine compassion that these boxers have for making our community a better place.
Pratt estimates that the event will raise $75,000 in total. The event is on November 29th at the Lonsdale Boxing Club. Tickets for the event are $100 and they can be purchased online. For 301 at 5, I'm Lauren Golosky.
And now, here's a recap of our top stories. The Saskatchewan government is loosening its stance on the province's liquor laws, which may lead to more consumer benefits, but at the cost of healthcare and highway funding.
Think about all the good things that $463.5 million can go towards.
The government's omnibus bill is taking aim at Aboriginal land ownership. A petition has started to fight the changes. A Regina woman whose son is being bullied at school says that not enough is being done to deal with the problem, leading her to teach her son to physically defend himself.
I actually told him that if the boy hits him again, to hit back.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight. Thank you for joining us.